I love having parents in now. My phone is under my butt talking to me. In our school, our kindergarten is a separate entity, but they mix with the first and second graders often during learning activities. They have a Spanish class together, they have gym class together, they have
music,
art class together, music class together. They do some science experiments together, they do field trips together. So same concept. Kindergarten is such a big year and there's so much obvious change and maturity that the core group, we felt it was better to keep them as on their own, but to make sure that they have enough exposure to the older kids so that they see what's coming down the line and they get motivated by it and they get excited by it. We see the kids in preschool and we try to teach them to, you're a big kid, you need to do this, this, and this. Like encouraging them to do things like put on your own shoes, open up your own lunchbox, write when we do our writing activities, sit in morning meeting. All of those things are the skills that they are going to need once they get to kindergarten. The difference between a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old or a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, there's obviously some differences, but the difference between a preschooler and a kindergartner is huge. If you come to any private school, ours especially, you're going from having 6 teachers in a classroom to 1 teacher, but here you have, 8 kids? In a school district school, there might be 30 kids with 1 teacher, and they need to know how to sit still, how to pay attention, how to raise their hand, how to not move around the classroom. The way we do things, going from structure to play to structure to play, our kindergarten does that, but most kindergartens don't. So teaching kids that the following directions and following several step directions is really important because they do need to learn how to self-manage quite a bit in kindergarten.
By kindergarten, they've kind of moved mostly out of the I can't do anything thing. Some of them need more supports on my end. Now there are some who are coming in that don't have the preschool experience, and you see that when they come in without, they're coming right into kindergarten, or they're coming in with a spotty preschool, or I have a couple kids who need a little supports right now.
A couple of our kids came from other schools specifically because they were getting in trouble for having bathroom accidents. That's not looking at the individual child. We have the ability to look at it from his perspective and say, okay, how can we help you solve this problem? Whereas if he was in a bigger school, they would be like, go to the bathroom. And it's undeniably putting extra stress on them in a situation that's already stressful for them. I want to show you a difference between the academic skills from preschool to kindergarten to first grade. You can see that he was trying to form a shape, which is good, but it's not recognizable. Here's another one. So here we even gave him the dots to follow, right? He was 4 when he did this, but still beginning of the school year. So there has been some progress since. Kindergarten, beginning of the school year. And in a school district school, this particular child wouldn't even qualify to be in kindergarten, but because we can accept them younger, she qualified to be in our kindergarten. But even with her, look at now.
Oh, wow.
So much better. Beginning of school year. So even beginning of school year, you can actually see that there's some letters. And here's now.
Wow.
That's a huge difference. First and second grade just authored their own books. Each one wrote an entire book. This is first grade. So this is this time of year, end of school year. She made a title, she made a picture for the front of the book, and then authored an entire book.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Right? That's first grade.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Another one, this is second grade, just again to see the difference.
Because there's also in my class, there's a building block to that too, where we create a class story. So they're all writing the same story, but they're each coming up with a different page of the story, so we're kind of making it as we go. So the first one we'll start off with, this was a really silly story. We said, I let them create characters and let them come up with a setting and a story, and then we just write. So we randomly picked one child and say, what's our first sentence? And it was about 2 paintbrushes that go to the beach. And they meet a dolphin, and it grows as it goes, but then they have to illustrate each page, after the sentence. There's only one sentence. It's not like they're creating it themselves, but they kind of are. We're doing it as a group, but they're not off like that, where they're actually creating the whole story, but they're coming up with, they can create the next part of the story. And then illustrate as long as it matches what we're talking about. So.
But this all stems from preschool, where you're reading stories and you're talking about stories and how important reading and writing and those early academic skills lead into this. Our preschool graduates are prepared for that next step, regardless of wherever the parents decide to send them. Kids go into kindergarten as really little kids, like babies. No, you help me. No, I don't want to do it. You do it for me. And now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I'm in kindergarten. I can do this. The kids do need the academics because they have to succeed later.
right.
Like they're not going to be early childhood forever. And they need to be able to compete once they get to 3rd grade or 4th grade or 5th grade. It's all in the way it's taught.
Oh.
Making learning fun, following curiosities, making sure that their body is taken care of, their emotions and their socialization is taken care of, and the academics will follow.
I'm showing them Venn diagrams. They get the concept. When I show it, they get the concept of it because we're talking about stories versus movies and things like that. But I certainly didn't learn Venn diagrams when I was in kindergarten. So yeah, you're right. It's accelerating.
But it's a huge confidence builder, and it's what is expected and encouraged in kindergarten. And that's why we encourage it in preschool, so that it's not this big, huge surprise. These kids are super ready for their next steps.